So we have another game this week. We got another tough matchup for the Lions this week. The Lions, of course, playing in Tennessee against the mighty Titans of Tennessee. It's time to remember the Titans. And oh yeah, we're gonna really remember them, because this is not a good matchup for the Lions. Let's be real here. In terms of the game, though, the point spread hasn't come out yet. I imagine Tennessee's gonna probably more than likely be favored by maybe 6 or 7 points. This is a game the Lions are not expected to win by any stretch. Let's go through the rest of it, though. So Tennessee leads the all-time head-to-head series 9-3. And Tennessee has won the last 5 meetings against Detroit. To put in perspective, the last time the Lions have beat the Titans was all the way back in 1995. Back when the Titans were still the Houston Oilers. Ever since the Oilers relocated to Tennessee, the Lions have not beat the Titans since. So yeah, not only is this a bad matchup for the Lions, Tennessee has had the Lions' number for almost 2, maybe 3 decades. No matter what we do, we just can't seem to beat the Titans. We always end up remembering the Titans as the team that owns us. Overall this year, Detroit is 4-3 on the road this year. Tennessee is 4-3 at home. So Tennessee's been about pretty average for this year. And for Tennessee, this is going to be Tennessee's last home game of the regular season, since the Titans' last 2 games of the regular season before the playoffs are on the road. So yeah, for Tennessee, they may not be playing back here at home until maybe January, when the playoffs start for the wild card round. If Tennessee can get the AFC South, since they're still in a deadlock race for the division with the Colts. Overall, to Tennessee, some key players. At quarterback, you got, of course, Ryan Tannehill. And Tannehill's had a career revival with the Titans ever since he came in last year to replace some injury-prone Marcus Mariota, when Mariota couldn't stay healthy to save his goddamn life. And honestly, well, to say the Titans made the right choice by taking Tannehill over Marcus Mariota, that would be a massive understatement. It was one of the best moves the Titans have made since relocating. But yeah, Tannehill, he was always a good QB in Miami. He was always underrated. It just, nothing seemed to always go right for him in Miami. But now in Tennessee, he's had everything needed to help him out. Mainly a good run game, some good offensive line protection. Pretty much Tennessee are surrounding him with every tool he needs to succeed. And it's worked out. Because at running back, you have one of the best running backs in the game today. Arguably the best running back, take your pick. Of course, that is King Derrick Henry. Or King Henry VIII. Because Derrick Henry, man, that man is built like a brick shithouse. He slays the field and destroys his opponents. For Derrick Henry, the Lions, they won't be just another statistic. They'll just be another victim. Henry just ravages the earth and destroys anyone that stands in his way. And of course, at wide receivers, Tennessee will be missing Adam Humphries, who's on the IR with a concussion. But they do got some good names like A.J. Brown. They also got Corey Davis. And they also got Jonnu Smith at tight end. So they got some really good names here to keep an eye on. And of course, on the defense, one of their top defensive ends in Jadeveon Clowney. Yeah, he still can't stay healthy to save his life, as he's back on the IR again with a meniscus injury. He's a talented player. He just can't stay healthy. That's the problem. But they do have some other solid pieces on the D-line. They got Jeffrey Simmons. They also got Daquan Jones. And they also got Isaiah Mack. They got some really good pieces on the defense. In terms of the linebackers, they are going to be down Jaylen Brown, who's on the IR with an elbow injury. But they do got some solid pieces on that linebacking core, like Vic Beasley They also got Rashad Evans and Harold Landry. Some really solid pieces there on the defense. And then in terms of defensive backs, well, for defensive backs, they Adoree Jackson is questionable for this game with a knee injury. But they do got pieces like former New England Patriot Malcolm Butler. They also got Kevin Byard. And they also got Kenny Vaccaro. So yeah, they still got some solid pieces here. In terms of the coaching staff, the coach of this well-oiled machine, of course, is former Patriot Mike Vrabel. Yeah, Mike Vrabel, he's really come in and turned the Titans culture around. And just keep this in mind, Lions fans. Bob Quinn chose Matt Patricia over Mike Vrabel. Just gonna leave that there. And of course, the offensive coordinator is Arthur Smith. And oddly enough, the Titans don't have a defensive coordinator. I'll have to double check here, but I believe Mike Vrabel calls the defensive play, since Vrabel is a defensive guy. So I guess Vrabel here is just an example that not all Bill Belichick disciples are bad. There are a couple good ones, very rare. You just gotta find the right ones and hope everything adds up. But yeah. Also, in terms of the Tennessee Titans rankings on the team, the Titans' offense is a top 5 offense. Their offense is ranked 4th in the league. They're 19th in the passing game and 2nd running the ball. One of the main reasons Tennessee's been successful, simply put, running the ball and Derrick Henry ravaging the land. You want to have success in this league, you need to run the ball well. And of course, the Titans defense, though, not really that good, though. The Titans defense is ranked 26. They're 29th against the pass, 15th against the run. So mainly they have issues in the secondary. But hey, you know, when you're able to run the ball and keep your defense off the field for as long as humanly possible, then maybe those kind of issues won't be a factor. But if you don't run the ball, then I think that's when it becomes a problem. So obviously the big key here for a possibly win is we gotta find a way to stop the run, which has been an issue all year. Like, the Lions have been unable to stop the run all year against big name running backs like Aaron Jones and Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook. Mainly the 3 best running backs the Lions have faced this year. And what makes you think they're going to stop Derrick Henry? And of course, the big thing for the game is that for the Lions, they may be going in without Matthew Stafford, as Stafford is still in pain from the broken ribs he suffered against the Packers last Sunday. Now for the Lions, they're not optimistic that Stafford's going to be good to go, but they are going to leave the door open since Stafford has toughened out through injuries. Just look at Stafford's history. Like his rookie year in a game against Cleveland, he threw the game-winning touchdown with a broken shoulder. He's also played this year with a torn ligament in his throwing hand. He's also played with a broken finger back in 2016. And don't forget, 2018, he played the remainder of the season, like the last month or two, with broken bones in his back. And it was looking like he was on that path in 2019 until the doctor said, no, you actually have to sit. Like, I think the only way Stafford doesn't play is if the doctors tell him no. I could see Stafford tough it out. I could see Stafford going with broken ribs. I think the only way he won't know for sure is if he can breathe well. Because if you can't breathe, you're no fucking use. If Stafford can breathe well and still throw good enough, I imagine he's going to tough it out here. Because if we know one thing for sure, Stafford is one tough son of a bitch in Detroit. And for all the Stafford haters that wants to say, oh, well, Stafford, he doesn't give a fuck about winning in Detroit. Really? Really, if Stafford doesn't care about winning in Detroit so much, then how do you explain all the times he's played through injuries, like the broken finger, like torn ligaments in his hand, throwing a game-winning touchdown with a broken shoulder, playing with broken bones in his back? If Stafford truly didn't give a shit about winning, then he wouldn't have toughed it out there with all those injuries, now wouldn't he? All I gotta say is you Stafford haters are a special kind of fucking special. With a capital fucking R. Like, you Stafford haters are fucking something. But hey, you know, if Chase Daniels is plays and Stafford is not good to go, then you can't blame Stafford for the loss this Sunday. So yeah, in terms of this game, really the Stafford injury is going to be the big question mark. Will he be good to go or not? My honest bet is I say just put him on the IR the rest of the year. Just let him heal up. Like, there's a good chance that last Sunday is more than likely Stafford. It could be Stafford's last game in a Lions uniform, since I don't think he'll be back next year. If he does come back, he'll be just mentoring his eventual successor, whether it be Trey Lance or Zach Wilson or hell, even fucking Justin Fields. We'll have to see, though. But yeah, for this game, this is really a bad matchup. The Lions do not match up well against the Titans at all. Like, you know, in this league, you know, there are some times where you match up well against some teams and you don't match up well against others. Lions do not match up well against the Titans. Now, I know the saying any given Sunday, but hey, if you don't match up well against a team, you don't match up well against a team. Fact of the matter is, Lions do not match up well against the Titans. So yeah, with Stafford's, now knowing Stafford's situation entering Sunday, I honestly think the safe bet here is to take Tennessee in this game. I don't see the Lions win this game. It's a terrible matchup. Like, the Lions have had issues stopping the run all year. And with that, what makes you think they're going to stop Derrick Henry all of a sudden? Like, I think Derrick Henry's about to go fucking haywire. Since this defense can't stop the run. The main thing they were built to do was stop the run. And they've been unable to stop the run. And they also have had issues rushing the QB. Just look at last week. Against the Packers, when the Lions defense had 0 sacks, they really did not pressure Rodgers all game. And gave Rodgers all day to throw the ball and pick the defense apart. But will we blame the loss on the Lions' defensive issues and being unable to stop Rodgers and when the Packers controlled the time of possession? Hell no! You want to know whose fault it was last Sunday? It's those goddamn refs' fault. Because they threw 2 bad calls at the Lions. They need to be held accountable for your actions. Despite the fact that Green Bay had 3 times more penalties than the Lions, with Packers having 12 penalties to Detroit's 4, it's still the refs' fault. So, honestly, in that situation, I'm not even surprised the fan base blamed the refs for the loss. Especially since it's Green Bay. Considering that that's the fan base's go-to excuse every time we play the Packers and lose. Because let's be real, the Lions fan base is not a real fan base. You know what, I'll go on to that rant a little bit before I go into that. I'm going to first talk about the 2 big announcements announced earlier today. When it was announced that the Lions were hiring Chris Spielman to be the special assistant to Sheila Ford and Rod Wood. And Spielman will report to Rod Wood, and Spielman will participate in the interviews for the GM and head coach vacancy. Yeah, sorry about that. My dogs were barking because someone came into my driveway to drop off some turkey for Christmas. So, yeah, I had to go check that out real quick. But anyway, back as to what I was saying on before I was rudely interrupted by my dogs. So, of course, some Spielman taking part in the GM and head coaching interviews. And Barry Sanders is also going to serve on as an advisor in both the GM and head coaching searches for those vacant spots. And of course, the Lions also going to be interviewing Rick Smith, the former GM for the Houston Texans. And the interesting thing about Rick Smith was that he was the main man that was responsible for bringing in guys on the Texans like Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt. 3 good players for the Texans. And the funny thing was, Rick Smith was never fired by the Texans. He had to step down for family reasons since when he stepped down, his wife was battling breast cancer. And once he stepped down, it opened the door for Bill O'Brien to take over the complete control of the team. And yeah, we all know how the story went. Texans blow a 24-0 lead in the playoffs, and then Bill O'Brien runs the team into the ground. We all know that story. I mean, and he does have ties to Robert Saleh. So that would be an interesting choice here, since Saleh is still on the top board for is the top candidate for the Lions in the head coaching vacancy spot. Since Saleh checks off a lot of boxes. So yeah, and I still want Saleh as coach. That's actually the guy I want as head coach for the Lions. But yeah, the Lions bring in Spielman and Barry Sanders. So it seems like the Lions are going to take a page out of the Red Wings book. Because, keep in mind, a lot of the Red Wings front office is former Red Wings legends and greats. You know, you got Steve Yzerman, an all-time Red Wing great, as the GM. And then you got Chris Draper, another great, as an assistant to Yzerman. And you got one of the Red Wings' top D-men of all time, and Nick Cronwall serving in the front office, too. And I believe one of the greatest defensemen for the Red Wings all time, and Nick Lindstrom is a scout for the Red Wings, too. And yeah, the list goes on and on. So it seems like the Lions are going to take a page out of that book and hire on former Lions greats in the front office. Honestly, though, I'm surprised we're not firing Rod Wood and replacing him with Chris Spielman. I think that would be a better option. That's something we could all agree on. Have Spielman take over president of football operations for the Lions and replace Rod Wood and get his ass out of here. But that won't happen since Rod Wood is a close friend to the Ford family. But yeah, the Lions are actually making good moves in the front office for once. That's interesting. That is something interesting and new. Looks like Sheila Ford may actually know what the hell she's doing, unlike her mother, Martha. So yeah, I know the fan base ain't gonna give her a fair chance just because she's a Ford, but I'm actually gonna give her a fair chance to try and clean this mess up. I'm gonna give her 3 to 5 years to rebuild this team. She's got 3 to 5 years to get this thing right. I'm giving her that much time. I'm actually gonna do what this fan base won't do, and I'm gonna give someone on this team a fair chance for once. But yeah. See, I think those are good moves too. So now, now that you have Spielman and Barry Sanders, two guys that know football well, in to help with the GM and head coaching searches now in football operations, yeah, there's now zero chance you find a way to fuck this up, right? But yeah, anyway, back to the fan base argument. So of course, yeah, the one thing I've heard all week was, yeah, the fan base blaming the refs for the loss when the refs weren't even remotely close to the issue. They were one of the reasons we lost the game, but they weren't 100% the reason. But I'm guessing, you know, the Lions having 0 sacks and giving Rodgers all day to throw, and when the Packers control time of possession, we never saw that happen. That's all fake news. Stop the count. So the only true winner from Sunday's game, according to most of this retarded-ass pathetic fan base, was the victim complex of Lions fans. Like, honestly, I said it here, this fan base is fucking pathetic. It's a pathetic fucking cesspool. I'll say this here. If all you're gonna do for that game Sunday is come up with excuses to defend your arguments, don't even waste my time. I don't want to hear excuses. No more excuses. I'm done with it. If all you're gonna do is give excuses to defend your bullshit, don't even waste my time. I'm not gonna listen and I'm not gonna hear it. But let's be real. Now, it's no surprise that this fan base makes excuses for losses. Because this isn't even a real fan base. It's a fucking joke of a fan base. The Lions fan base is a fucking joke. Let's put it in perspective. 3-4 years ago, the Lions YouTube community, it was one of the most respected one of the most respected fan bases in the football community. And within the last 3-4 years, the Lions fan base on YouTube slowly transformed for one of the most respected fan bases in the online football community to now one of the biggest jokes in the online football community. This fan base is nothing but a laughingstock. Let me put this in perspective, folks. You know what a real fan base would do from last Sunday? A real fan base would not blame the refs for every single loss and make every excuse in the book. And oh, by the way, they sure as hell want to pull their 30-plus year fan card excuse bullshit to defend their actions and their toxicity. Real fan base don't do that shit. This is not a real fan base. Now I'm calling everyone out on it. Because keep in mind, everyone knows that I'm a NASCAR Hendrick Motorsports fan. Yeah, in Hendrick Motorsports, it's a real fan base. You want to know what we do as a fan base when we don't win? We don't make excuses. We man up. We eat crow. We admit when we've been had. We explain why we lost with research and facts. We don't make excuses. We're a real fan base and we stick with everybody through thick and thin because a lot of Lions fans are saying, oh, I don't want to watch anymore because, oh, the league is against the Lions. It's rigged. Oh, so now it's the league's fault the Lions have been losing for 60-plus years. Last year, it was the fan base's fault that the Lions are losing for 60-plus years. Now, it's the NFL's fault. Oh boy, where do I begin picking this argument apart? Let me put this in perspective for you. It's not the league's fault this team has been a poorly run shithole for 60-plus years. We went over this argument last year after the Broncos game. And this fan base has learned nothing from it. You've learned nothing. You wanna know why I fucking say this fan base is retarded? Because you are retarded. It's the fucking truth. Not my fault you're all a bunch of fucking snowflake bitches that can't handle it. It's not my fault. That's on you. Grow up and be a man and own up. Done. And when we're done with the whining and the complaining and the moaning and bitching and bitching and bitching and bitching. Like, holy fuck. If I want to listen to bitching, I'll listen to... If I wanted to hear a lot of bitching, I just watch a presidential debate. For fuck's sakes. Like, holy fuck, you bitch more than fucking two high school girls. Like, this fan base bitches more than a couple of high school girls. Like, it's that fucking pathetic. Like, this fan base is pathetic and retarded. It's not a real fan base. You wanna know why? Because you're losers. See me put, you wanna know why the league don't respect the Lions? Because you're losers. The Lions are losers. They don't deserve respect. They've done nothing to change the losing culture for 60-plus years. And until now, it seemed like the Fords never gave a damn until Sheila Ford took over and decided to actually give a shit for once. Like, seriously. Enough's enough. I'm done with the bullshit. I've had it. We're done. I'm done with it. And this... Like, maybe you Lions fans should take lessons from Hendrick Motorsport fans on how to be a real fan base. Because I can tell you how to be a real fan base, but I don't think you want to hear it since you're too blind. Since all you Lions fans in this community, from everyone in the DVE and the DSA, you're all too blind, stupid, ignorant, and stubborn to see through your own blind, delusional bullshit. Truth hurts, doesn't it? Heavyweight champ out. I'm done.